Tell me just a little bit about yourself and how you got introduced into filmmaking.
Okay, so my name is Anthony Davis. I'm a assistant production accountant in the film world. Been doing this for the last 13 years, and I'm responsible for tracking budgets for films and television shows that come into the Atlanta market.
Nice. Now, with Yogurt Raisin, obviously you serve as the executive producer. So, how did you say, I want to get closer to more the creative side too? And can you tell me any of the parallels between being in those worlds?
Well, executive producer isn't a creative producer. That's more of bringing in the money
Mhm.
or bringing in a well-known actor or celebrity to the project to either star in the project, or that celebrity or well-known figure has money that they can contribute to the project. So me serving as the executive producer for Yogurt Raisin, I financed the whole thing myself with my own money to make this project happen.
Nice. And how did you go about finding the director, the crew, the actor? What was that process like of actually finding everyone that you worked with already?
Okay, so finding the director, Michael Cook, he directed Yoga Raisin. I've worked with Michael in New York. He's based in New York and Atlanta, but I
Mhm.
worked with him in New York on a psychological horror project, maybe 6 years ago,
Okay.
with my creative partner. I have a creative partner that she lives in New York, and I also have a creative partner. She lives in Memphis and also LA. So I met Mike when we shot a pitch, kind of like a pitch video for this psychological horror film. He was the director of photography on that film. Michael goes back and forth between DPing and directing. So I had reached out to him once I had the script, and I delivered the script to him. He read it. He fell in love with the project, and he came on board as directing. As far as getting the actors, so I teamed up with a casting company called Stella Nova Casting. They were responsible for casting the short film Two Distant Strangers. They won Best Short Film 2 years ago. So I hired Stella Nova Casting, and they did all the casting for Yoga Raisin.
Got it. Okay, so you know me, I gotta back up a little bit because this is amazing. But I want to so the audience really understands, like before you even the fact that you can finance these films and executive produce, walk me through the process a little bit. How did you get introduced to filmmaking and how did you get into that creative world?
So, okay, when you say introduced to filmmaking, do
Yeah.
you mean how did I get introduced to becoming an accountant or the producing side of film?
A little bit of both. I like to hear the journey. So walk me through
Okay.
like I know you worked with Def Jam, so maybe talk about like your entertainment experience and then yes, how you got introduced to that world.
Okay, so I got introduced to working in film. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia. So after college, I went to New York, started working in records, worked for Def Jam, Island Def Jam at the time. They just merged, and worked for MCA Records for a brief moment.
Mhm.
Um, got pink slipped from Island Def Jam, so I came back to Richmond, Virginia with my family.
Mhm.
Um, Worked at a local news station in Richmond, Virginia for a while. And then I got hired at WJLA, the ABC affiliate in DC.
Mhm.
Worked there maybe a year. Um, Me and my wife, we always wanted to relocate to Atlanta. So
Okay.
my wife, she got her job transferred her to Atlanta. So that obviously I had to go to Atlanta with her.
Yeah.
So while I was in Atlanta, I started working for the CBS affiliate here in Atlanta. Um, and at the time, my oldest daughter, she was doing a little bit of acting, so she was in The Blind Side. So as a minor, they have to be accompanied by an adult. So I had to take her to set. So when I was on set, I used to see people on set, film crew, that these are like a surveillance earpiece. So I always thought, well, everybody in film is important, but I thought the people who wore the earpieces were like very important.
Right, right.
and I found out that that was just a set PA. So I asked one of the set PAs, how can I,
Mhm.
do what you do? Because you look important. So that person introduced me to um, the star of The Blind Side, his assistant. So
Okay.
we kept in touch for like a year, like literally um, on emails and texting. He was filling me out. I told him I was interested, and he was telling me, if I get you in the door, you're gonna have to quit your 9 to 5.
Mhm.
Um, so I told him that I quit my 9 to 5, which was the CBS affiliate in Atlanta, but I didn't. I tried to work both jobs, and I did work both jobs. He got me a job actually on my first job was Stump the Yard 2 as a set PA.
Mhm.
I was working both jobs. I eventually quit my 9 to 5 and just started working in film. I
Mhm.
found out that set life, working on set, wasn't for me. So I ventured into the office, the production office, started
Mhm.
off as a office production PA. And when you're working in the production office, which is like the nerve um, command center of film, you get to see all of the departments that makes up film. So I saw set deck, I saw locations, I saw um, grip and electric, I saw accounting. So accounting was a department that I was attracted to. Um, Spoke to the first assistant accountant, told him that I was interested in coming on board, working in that department.
Mhm.
Um, a job came up, American Reunion. That was my first job in the accounting department. I started off as an accounting clerk and worked my way up to an assistant production accountant. So 13 years later, I've tracked budgets for a lot of Marvel films, Ant-Man, Captain America, 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, um, Black Panther 2, and just recently finished Ironheart.
Nice, nice. See, that's why I like hearing asking those questions because so many times people have like these dreams or these goals, and it's like, but how did you get there? So I think that's so important to hear how you worked your way out, worked your way up, and I love how like your whole family is involved in the process of film and some aspect too. So that's beautiful. I like all of that. Um, now with okay, so I have to do that. Now with executive producing,
Right.
yeah, I know I've mentioned creative, and I know you're not on that side, but I think it's such a the fact that you came up with the concept and really, executed. I honestly, I do think that's a certain amount of creative too. So, talk to me about how you came up with that idea, and how was it amongst your friends?
Okay. So Yogurt Raisin is loosely based on me and my 5 childhood friends. They all Caucasian. Till this day, we're tight. Um, and we go out, we hang out, we take guys trips every year. Um, and when we take guys trips, we'll hang out, we'll talk politics, we'll talk finances, we'll talk what our families has been up to. We'll just kick back and relax and you know talk girls, just like y'all do when y'all on y'all
Yes,
little girls trip or whatever.
yes.
So one time at our guys, I was just in my head. I was like, I wonder. Oh,
Mhm.
let me go back. So my childhood friends, they embraced African American culture um, to the T. Like they love black music. They love hip hop. Like they know the history of hip hop. Like just if you were in the room with them and closed your eyes and just listen to them talk, you would think that you were around black men. Um, so I always thought, if they were ever put in a messed up situation that sometimes us black people are put in,
Yeah.
would they still love our culture, or would they, step back or disappear? So that idea came to mind in maybe 2013. Um, Fast forward, I produced a short film with my creative partner, I said, that lives in Memphis, called Spin. It's about a rape situation. So after we finished shooting, I was like, you know what? Um, I've produced Spin with Brandy. I've produced 3 short films with Robin up in New York. I was like, I'm gonna produce my own film. I'm gonna take this idea that I have, I'm
Mhm.
gonna hire a screenwriter, and we're gonna make this happen. So I hired a screenwriter, great guy, William Roebuck. We went back and forth like with the outline on our notes on our iPhone, and just kept sending them back and forth until we had a good outline. Then from there, he started writing the script. Once he got the first draft done, I gave it to my creative partner in New York because she's also a script doctor. She reads scripts and redlines it out and tells you how you can make it better. So once we got maybe the third draft, it was a good solid draft. Um, then I started to send that script out to some directors that I knew to see if they would be interested. Boom, got Michael on board. Then I hired the department heads, and then they hired their people, and got the casting done, and then cast it, and boom, started filming. We started filming this past February 2022, and now we're on festival circuit with Yogurt Raisin.
Nice. I think that that film in such a short amount of time touches on so many important things. And another thing that I really like, especially hearing like how the idea came about, is that you can really feel the like camaraderie and the brotherhood. You feel that on set. How did y'all build that between the cast and crew?
Well, so it's crazy. Like the when we casted the cast, the guys they never met each other. Like the first time they met each other was on our first table read,
Okay.
and while they were reading, you would think they've known each other for a while. They just bonded and gelled good, which I like. I like to have a good crew, good cast, no drama. Everybody comes in, puts in 100%, and we get this stuff knocked out.
Nice, nice.
And the same with film. So pretty much, I mean, with the film crew. So pretty much, I used the same film crew that we used on Spin.
Okay, okay. So you have like your people you work with. Nice.
Yeah, so it's easy to work with people that you've worked with before. You know how they work, they ethic,
Right.
and you call them up. Hey, I got this project. You want to get down with it? If they got time, they're in because
Right.
they know how I work. They know again, it's no drama. We come in here, we kick butt, and we get this project done.
Yes, yes. Yes. As someone who works for you, that sounds right. So I have another question.
But
One of the big themes, of course, in the film is cultural appropriation. So I've seen mixed, I guess I would say, viewpoints on it. Some people feel like, well, I don't really mind when they appropriate our culture. It's like a head nod to us, like, yeah, we dress better, we do this better, so they're trying to imitate us. And I've heard other people say, no, like that's completely wrong. This is our culture. I'm curious, what's your thoughts about that?
my thoughts on that, it's okay as long as when you embrace a different culture that you're doing it right. Like it's no stereotypical things around it. For an example, um, my guys, they embrace our culture, the African American culture, but they're not wearing their jeans saggy because sometimes you see us black men where they're, you know what I'm saying? That's negative to me. They don't do that. They
Yeah,
don't say the N word.
yeah,
As some of us say that in everyday talk. They don't do that as well. Like I said, they embrace our culture, and
mhm,
it's fine, and they're doing it right. You
right.
know, yeah.
What was your friend's response to the film when they saw it and or heard that you were making it?
They loved it. They loved the idea. Actually, I kind of took them through the process from like the first draft of the script. I let them read it. Um, I walked them through through filming, through the process of casting who I wanted to play this person, that person. Through post production, they saw like the first cut of post. until, we had a final cut. They saw the final cut. They loved it. One of my friends, he was saying it kind of made him feel a little bit uncomfortable
Mhm.
based on, what he saw, in the film, and he questioned himself, did I act like this character in the film before? I think he might have said he might have been around other people who might have acted like Jacob. Jacob is the one of the white guys in Yogurt Raisin. So yeah.
Yes. Oh, I think that's good though. After you watch, I feel like that's how you know a film is good. Like after it's done, if you're like, it makes you think a little bit. Like, did I do that, or how? You know what I mean?
Right.
If it kind of makes you think about different things. So that's, I feel like
Yes.
that's a good sign. But I'm happy that you're receptive to it. So, with you being executive producer, with you working on these projects as an accountant, tell me where some of the parallels lie. Like, what are some things you've noticed are the same in these positions, and what are some things that are completely different?
So the same as assistant production accountant, I'm all that's dealing with money.
Yeah.
Obviously, being an executive producer, I'm getting the money to make the film happen, and I also track the budget for the film. So that's where my assistant production accountant hat comes on, because I'm, making sure we stay on budget, we don't go over budget. Um, yeah, that's a parallel where I'll take the money from being an executive producer and also tracking the budget
Okay.
of the project.
Got it. And what's something that you feel is very different?
Um, so Yogurt Raisin, different the creative part, where that's where I'm trying to learn more, is being a creative producer. So, and that's I learned a lot when I hired the casting directors for Yoga Raisin. Um, Obviously, they put out a casting call. We saw a lot of tapes of
Mhm.
people that wanted to read for the roles, and we narrowed it down to 4 people per role. So just looking at each read of the person, the audition, and then me and looking at the casting director's notes
Okay.
saying why they think this person is good for the role. So that was new to me,
Okay.
because me looking at different audition tapes, I can weed out obviously the bad ones, but then I'll get like down to 3 people, but they all look good to me.
Right.
Where the casting directors, they can pick out, why they chose not to go with this person or that person in
Mm.
their notes, and it makes sense when they give the notes versus me looking at. I'm like, this person looks good, this person looks good, this person looks good. So learning through them on the creative side in casting, and what they felt like, what person would best fit to play the characters for each role in the movie.
Got it. Got it. And congrats on all the success of the film so far and getting into the different film festivals. I know you
Yes.
talked about Denton. And what do you think is next for Yogurt Raisin?
Next, so we're just early now, starting out on the 2023 film festival circuit. To date, we've gotten into two film festivals: the Denton Black Film Festival, and then also the Toronto Black Film Festival. So to date, we've submitted to probably 30 film festivals. So now I'm just waiting to get notification back to see if we've gotten selected. Yes, fingers crossed. And I mean, some of the film festivals are Oscar qualifying film festivals. So if Yoga Raisin gets into a film festival that's Oscar qualifying, and they win best film, then we could be up for, we can qualify to be nominated for an Oscar for best short.
Yeah.
So we'll love to be in that category.
Yes, yes. Obviously I'm rooting for Yoga Raisin so much. And then finally I want to ask, what's next for you personally? What is the next thing you're working on? What's some of your goals for 2023?
All right, next thing I'm working on is a health documentary called Sugar Daddy. So Sugar Daddy, the health documentary, that's going to take an inside look of overconsumption of sugar and the health disorders in the African American community. Right now, we're in the development stages. We're trying to get everything together, pull in the money to make this documentary happen. We have a well-known producer attached to the project now. I'm not saying any names yet, but he's joined us, and the world will know pretty soon. And we're looking to shoot this documentary this summer.
Nice. So exciting. So exciting. I can't wait. And I just love that name, by the way.
Sugar Daddy.
Yes, because I remember the first time I saw it, I said a Sugar Daddy documentary. Then I
Right,
looked, I said, oh, this is good.
right. Yes,
Love
it's a
that.
hook.
Yeah,
It is a hook. Yeah.
yeah. So nice, so nice. Well, for people who watch the interview, where can they keep up with you and where can they learn more about Yogurt Raisin?
So you can keep up with me on my IG, ATL underscore Gemini. And then you can keep up with Yogurt Raisin, yogurtraisin.com. That's the website. It'll have a little blur about the film, and it also has a trailer on the film.
Nice, nice. So make sure y'all check that out. Go watch it. Well, watch the trailer. But it's amazing. It's such a good project. And also make sure y'all support Anthony and be on the lookout for Sugar Daddy coming soon. So thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you, Kirby.